Hey you guys, it's your girl Lacey. I'm coming to you with another review for American Horror Story Murder House, Season 1, Episode 1. So we're going to jump right into it. So the show starts with Adeline, standing outside the murder house. And she's standing there staring at it in its entirety. And these two twins, one of them is named is Troy. I don't know the other twin's name because they never really said. I wish they would have, but they probably said, fuck this. They're not going to be here much longer, so we're not going to give them no fucking names. Not for the other one. Troy is the one, but the other one. So, and they're so cute. They're redhead. They got freckles. They got braces. One has a lisp. She was like, uh, Troy called her a freak, and the other one was like, mwah, 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 can make kissy face. I'm like, you fucking weirdo. And she said, excuse me. And they turned around, it's like, you're going to die in there. I was like, what, bitch? And it's like, shut up, we're going to kick your ass. So we have bats. You don't talk shit, you got to listen. I'm like, alright, you know how kids are. And then, Addie is basically like, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. So they go in the house. When they go in there, the song, what is it? Tonight You Belong to Me by the Lennon Sisters, Patient and Prudence. Yeah, that's the intro song. Tonight You Belong to Me. It's a creepy ass song. It's a side chick song, and it's kind of it's eerie as fuck. So it's perfect for the show. Um, so they go in, they're smashing shit, they're pushing TVs all over the place, and they're knocking in everything. And I think they knocked in the TV screen. I don't know why you would do that, but I suppose. So they go in one of the hallways, and they see like this raccoon possum thing, and it's still breathing, but its neck is slit, and you can tell it's fresh blood because it's just now coming out. And I'm like, that is first of all, clue number one that we shouldn't have gone in the house is when Addie said you're going to die in there. Like, okay, well we're just not going to go fucking in. Clue number two was with the goddamn possum. Like, see, no, this got fresh blood, is still breathing and shit, and I don't like it. And then one of the spirits, I would say, not something, because we know motherfuckers, you die in murder house, you stay in that bitch. You can go other places, but you pretty much stay in that bitch. Um, Somebody opened the door into the basement. So they went down to the basement and they saw this laboratory and all these jars of all these specimens and shit and baby heads and arms and fuckery. And it's in all these jars. So Troy's looking at things and the other twin is looking at things. And the other twin picks up the jar and smashes it. And it scares the fuck out of Troy. And the other twin was like, you know what? It stinks in here. Um, It stinks in here. Remember that year where we got was it a squirrel or a possum, and they got stuck in the chimney and died or some shit? That's what it smells like. We should go find it. I'm like, no, the fuck we shouldn't. Ugh, boys are disgusting. Then the other twin was like, no, I'm scared. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And so the twin goes up to the stairs a little bit. Now Troy, he has these poppers, right? These little things you drop and they pop, little balls or whatever. And as the other twin is walking up the stairs, the popper stopped. And he was like, Troy, you all right? So he goes in the room where Troy went. Troy's on the ground, reaching, neck is like slit. And then Troy is pointing to somebody. So he turns around, and this creature, it's like a combination of an Annabelle, Chucky doll, a midget, or sorry, not a midget, a highly challenged person. And I don't know the terminologies of what they want to say, so I'll just say something that sounds a little more politically correct. A very miniature person, and one of those people from The Hills Have Eyes. They got genetically mutated from all the radioactive atomic bombs that were being practiced and dropped in like Nevada or Arizona, Area 51 or something, wherever the government was using that for. It looked like a mixture of those things, like a creature, a small person, and somebody who's genetically mutated and shit. And it was coming towards the other twin, and he's screaming, ah, and it kills him and Troy. And Addie is outside, just, you know, it's just standing there where she was before, and she was like, well, she was right. She's very intuitive. So then the next scene goes to Vivian. Vivian is at the doctor's office. She's had a very brutal miscarriage, and she's saying that her husband Ben didn't, it was too much blood. He didn't like blood. I'm like, okay. And she was like, I just need to get my body back into whack. And he was like, I have some BHRT hormones for you, and they'll be very good for you. And he's like, your body's like a house. You can replace the tiles and the windows and all the rest of that, but if you don't fix the foundation, your house is gonna go kaput. She's like, what are the side effects? In typical doctor shit, he doesn't say. He just says you feel and look 10 years younger. It sounded like melanin hormones to me. That's what it sounded like some old Gila Henrietta Lacks stem cell shit. Like take it from one of us and put it in one of their asses. That's what that shit sounded like to me. But he never really said the actual side effects. He's just one of those, those doctors like you ask him what the side effects is, like, oh, it makes you happy. Like, bitch, that ain't no side effect. That ain't what I asked for. I meant like internal bleeding, rectal bleeding, nostril bleeding. One of my fallopian tubes falls out. My earlobe falls out. I get excess earwax in my vagina. Shit like that. Like those are side effects. That's what the fuck I mean. Like heart attack, stroke. One of them shits. Like my eye fall out. I get glaucoma. I catch alopecia. Some shit like that. Those are side effects. Me being happy. I'm happy already. I don't need that shit. It's not a fucking side effect. That would piss me off with that shit. like bitch, that ain't no side effect. Am I gonna lose a fallopian tube? That's the type of shit I'm asking for. Am I gonna grow an extra foot, a horn, or some shit? Like God, am I have a demon baby or something? Like those are the side effects I'm talking about. Like, will my vaginal walls erode? Like will I have like nervous system problems? Will my pineal gland calcify and die out? Like, will my hypothalamus gland just combust in the flames or some shit? Like, these are side effects. That happy shit, that's not a side effect. Bitch, I don't appreciate this. That means like I'm stupid or some shit. Like, what the fuck? So then she was like, I don't know. Because I don't even let my family drink out of plastic bottles. I'm like, so she's really like go hard with it. And I'm like, I don't blame you because all these preservatives and shit, they trying to kill us, girl. I don't blame you. So he's like, Vivian, just take the prescription. What do you have to lose? And she's like, all right. She takes this shit. She goes to the store. She comes home. She gets in the house and she hears shit moving. Faintly, but it's moving. So she calls the police, lets them know, like, something's wrong. And so they send in a police car or patrol over real quick. So she grabs a knife, goes upstairs, and she hears something moving in one of the rooms. I think in her bedroom. And so she opens the door. Her husband, Ben, is in there fucking one of his 21-year-old students. She's like, you can't be fucking serious. And she just drops and just walks away. He's like, oh no, no, baby, no. It's not like that. It's not like that. And so she walks and tries to run away a little bit and like kind of skips a little bit. And he goes after her. He's like, baby, I'm sorry. I love you. You're the only one I love. And she cuts his arm with the knife. And then it goes into the American Horror Story intro. I despise when people cheat. Bitch, don't you ever cheat on me in my motherfucking house. In my bed, bitch? Are you serious? Like, you, not only do you not respect me enough to keep your fucking vows, you piece of dog shit, but you gonna fuck somebody in my bed. I have to sleep in this motherfucker. I have to think about you fucking another bitch in my bed. And not only that, now I gotta think, is this the first time you fucked another bitch in my bed? Is it just bitches? Like, what do you like? I was like, nah, I gotta think about all types of shit. I can't sleep on my mattress. I can't sleep in these sheets. I don't even want to sleep in this house with you. You better be glad that murder in the first degree is illegal. Because, bitch, if it wasn't, you be fucking rose fertilizer. In my house, bitch. No respect. So then the show comes back from the intro. And then, from the intro. And they're driving. They lived in Boston. But now they're driving to they're in California, Los Angeles right now. And now they're driving in. They're about to go see the murder house. They don't know it's murder house yet. But they're about to go in there and see. And so they're talking. They're like, oh, it's wonderful. It's going to be a nice place. And, and Vivian's like, oh, it's so much sunshine. And their daughter Violet, she's like high school age. She's like, it's not sunshine, it's smog. Oh my god, she's one of those macabre Edgar Allan Poe females. I like her because I was like that a little bit. In high school, real sarcastic and shit. And she's like, I have to. He was like, so it's fresh air. Ben was like, it's fresh air out here. Now you don't have to sneak your cigarettes. And she's like, whatever, I have to pee. And he's like, we're in the middle of the highway, we can't. Maybe the Honda across from us has a bathroom. She was like, if they have a dog, after Vivian had her hard miscarriage, she got a dog. Dog's name is Haley, and she got the dog to comfort her. After the baby died. And Violet was like, "If I bet you if the baby substitute had to go take a shit, you'd stop." Like, God. Violet ain't shit. I like her. And Vivi was like, "Hey, I don't like that word unless I'm saying it." I was like, "Yes, here for mommy rules. Do as I say, not as I do." So, like whatever. And Ben says, "I'm really glad we named you Violet instead of the second choice." And Violet was like, "What was it?" And Vivian said, "Sunshine." And she's like, "Ha ha ha." They're all mocking, laughing, being sarcastic. And they're like, "Listen, we're going to give this a chance. We're new here and we're going to enjoy the scenery, enjoy everything LA has to offer." So they go to the house and they're looking at it. But, Violet is not interested. She misses the East Coast. She's not a West Coast type of person. And she's like, I don't fuck with this shit. So they go in the house. They're looking around. Um, they go in the kitchen. Everything is before they really get into the house. The realtor was like, "Oh, um, the last owners, they made everything over. Everything is absolutely new. They treated this house like it was their baby." And we were like, "Were they gay?" She's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "Oh, you guys, the fuck." And so they go into the house, and so she's showing them the kitchen with the pasta arm. I love that pasta arm. Like when I get my first house, hell, I'm getting a pasta arm because that shit's like you can fill large pots of water with this, with this pasta. I'm like, this shit is beautiful. So she's showing them the house, and then you know, basically when they're in the kitchen, the realtor is asking Ben, um, "Aren't you a doctor? You're a psychologist?" He said, "No, I'm a psychiatrist." And he was like, "Oh, isn't there a home office here? Because I wanted to see my clients here to be closer with my family." And she's like, "Oh, that's wonderful." And so they go into the other room. It's like a music room. And Ben was like, "Babe, you can practice in here." And, a realtor was saying, "Oh, are you a musician?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, damn straight. She's a great one. She used to be a cellist." And she's like, "Oh, why'd you stop?" And I think she either stopped because of the miscarriage or because he cheated, or probably, I think she stopped because of the miscarriage, more than likely, because she said she couldn't get herself into, her body into whack again. And Vivian wasn't really acknowledging her being a cellist because she really wasn't trying to talk about it. She was peeling this wallpaper, off the mural. Now, if those guys that live their lives were stylish, I don't know why the fuck they picked that wallpaper. I'm like, they could have made the house a little brighter. Like, don't pick that wallpaper is like blah. Like blah 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 blah. Like God, why would you pick that shit? But so she's picking the mural off, and the mural is real morbid and depressing and Edgar Allan Poe-ish. I liked it, I really did. And so the realtor finally says, "Listen, we talking about depressing things. Since we brought that up, the state law requires that I tell you." Uh, Disclose to you what happened to the last owners. And, Vivian jokingly, she's like, "What happened? Did they die in here?" She's like, "Yes, actually, murder suicide." Like, what the fuck? Oh, God. So then, Violet comes in. She was like, "Well, where did it happen at?" It's like in the basement. She's like, "Cool, we'll take the house." And her parents are just looking at her like, "What the fuck?" So then, they get the house. They get in the house. They start unpacking. And their parents are in bed at night and they're talking. It was like, um, aren't you concerned about certain things about what happened in the house? Like how it's so terrible. What happened to them here? He said, "What I'm concerned about is the fact that this house is worth 4 times what we actually paid for it. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. So let's not think about it. And she was like, "That's your professional opinion, doctor. This is just denial." And he's like, "Well, hey." So, he tries to be intimate with her, but she still really can't be intimate with him, really, because she don't trust him. And I understand. Not only did you cheat on me, you fuck somebody in my house, in my bed. Like, this, as a woman, I'm supposed to run this, and it's supposed to be my domain. You brought some bitch in here. And I'm not even sure if this is the first time that you brought some bitch in here. Is she one of the bitches? Or are there more bitches? Do you just like women? Have you brought men in here? Like, what else have you been doing in here when I'm not here, or when you think I'm not here? Like, you didn't even have decency to A, not cheat on me, B, go to a hotel, and C, not fucking cheat on me. Like, so she can't do it. He was like, you gotta forgive me sometimes. She said, I know I do. And I'm trying. So, work with me on that. And so later on, I think she's doing something, getting rid of the wallpaper to, show the mural. And I'm like, yeah, just show the shit how it is. And Addie comes walking in the house, and she's laughing, pointing in her direction. Now, Vivian is like, she doesn't know who the fuck this is, and she thinks she's laughing at her. But really, the twins that died in the 70s, I think it was the 70s, those twins earlier in the episode, show first began, when they died in like the 70s, she's laughing at them because they're dead and they didn't listen. She's like, what the fuck you get for not listening to me, bitch? So she's like, what the fuck? And so she sits her down, and no, she didn't sit her down that time. Her mother, Addie's mother, Adeline's mother, Constance, walks in, her next door neighbor. She walks in, and she's like, oh, Addie, I put on Dora for you. She's like, no, let's go, Diego, go. And she's like, listen, all those brown characters look the same. You can't tell them apart. Just go watch TV. I was like, bitch. I'm like, oh, you one of them old motherfuckers. See, I ain't got time. I did this old hoe just say that shit. Like, well, better they say it than they just thinking and smiling in your face. Cause motherfucker, you can tell. You can look at a motherfucker's eyes and, you can tell they be thinking and shit. They don't want to say it, though. So, Vivian was like, hey, who are you people? Why are you in my house? And she's like, oh, I'm Constance. This is Addie. Basically, she's like, oh, go watch TV. And Adeline, I think she went home that time. And Constance was telling Vivian, Addie has a bug in her ass about this house. So just, she'll always get in. You can close the door and all the rest of that, but she'll always get in. And she was like, oh, those were diamonds. Oh, your husband got those for you. They always do when you're young and pretty. And she was still in her silverware. I'm like, what the fuck? And she was telling her she came out there. She came out there to be a star, but she said by that time when she got out here, nudity was the big thing, and she didn't want to show her body in front of everybody. I'm like, all right, okay. She just strikes me as the type of person who would do whatever she had to do to get what she wanted. I'm like, okay, maybe she wasn't, not completely. So she's like, oh, I didn't want to show my green pasture to the world for every man, woman, and child, so I hung that dream up on the shelf. And then she came along. He's calling the girl a mongoloid. I'm like, you don't have to be rude to her because she has special needs. Like really, what type of fucking mother are you? And so, she was like, if they had those home tests just a few years earlier, then I probably could have got something done about that, or I wouldn't have had her at all. So she's like, oh, do you have a dog? She's like, yeah, I do. She's like, well, I have a kennel I run at my house. If you have pure breeds, I love a pure breed, but, as you can see, I always have room in my house for mongrels. I'm like, bitch. She said, I wanted to bring you a pie. Addie wanted to bake you a pie, but Addie tends to spit in the cooking. I was like, yeah, thank you for not bringing me that. Thank you so much. Bitch, no one's eating that. Like, what the fuck? And so she brought her a little bowl with sage in it. She said there's a lot of bad spirits in this house. There's a lot of bad memories in this house. So go ahead and burn that, take it on through the house. And so So Vivian, she gets to washing her clothes and she's drying them and she hangs them up at some point in the episode. And as she's hanging them up, she encounters the maid, Mira O'Hara. And Mira O'Hara, um, she basically says she comes as a package deal with the house. She works Monday through Thursday, and that's it. And she said she doesn't work on the weekends, and she does not clean people's houses in her clothes. She feels that that's not proper and it's disgusting. And I can't really get mad at her, you know. I was a CNA for a while, and I can't imagine, you know, wiping people's asses and getting them up and giving them showers in my clothes. You know, I prefer my scrub, so I can see that point. But she's telling her, you know, I don't really need a maid. I'm all right. I prefer natural cleaning anyway. She was like, well, what are you cleaning the floors with? She said, oh, well, Murphy's oil. She's like, no, you need to use white vinegar. She's like, oh, cool. That's natural. That's fine. With me, I like that. She's like, well, my cab is gone, and I need to call another one. Do you mind if I wait in your home? So she invites her in. She gives her a cup of tea, and they talk. And she decides, I need the help. It's a lot of house. I don't want to do all this. So yes, I will. You can work for me. And she tells her that she worked for the last two gentlemen, and she found their bodies, and she had to clean up the mess. And Vivian asked her, you know what? You know, don't you ever get tired of cleaning other people's messes? She's like, well, we're women. That's what we do. And I laughed. I laughed so hard. I was like, yeah, yeah, that is what we do. And she's like, I just get paid for it. I'm like, that you do. That you do. So she comes in and they you know, no, Ben comes in. Sorry, not she. She's already in the house. What the fuck are they talking? So Ben comes in and he sees Amara and they do like a spin shot, right? Amara is what we find out is Mara basically is a ghost. She's dead, and she looks like an older woman the way that she would look if she would have continued to live on to Vivian, but she looked like a young woman to Ben. Now she looks real young, real tight, tender, nice ass, and everything. She's absolutely gorgeous, deep dark red hair. She looks beautiful. Um, she has both of her eyes are right. Now, when she appears to Vivian, she has a ghost eye, and we'll find out why later on in the season. Um, so he was like, "You want to hire her? You know, after what I did?" She's like, "Well, yeah. What's the problem?" And you know, he can't see her as who she was, what she looked like when she died, but she sees her in the now. So they don't see the same perspective. So she was like, you know, she left and she's like, my cab is here. I have to go to the bathroom. And then she went to the bathroom and then she left. So she's like, before she left, Vivian was like, could you come tomorrow? You start tomorrow? She's like, Thursday is better, but I'll make it work. So she came to the next day. And so she leaves. He's like, well, I'm really amazed. So then Ben gets this patient, Tate. Tate is a certified school shooter. He is like an Andrew Cunanan, a heterosexual one. He's completely insane. So he's talking about killing people, and he feels like he's doing them a service, taking them away from the piss and the vomit of this world. I'm like, no, 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 that's not really your call. If they want you to kill them, yeah, then you are doing a service. But if you just taking a motherfucker and they wasn't ready like that, no. The fuck are you doing? Nobody asked for this. So then, you know, Ben gives him some medication. He doesn't want to take it. He comes back and he's like, you know, I was afraid that my big dick wouldn't work if I took it because I met somebody. And turns out who he met was Ben's daughter, Violet. And he was, you know, in the house. And when he was talking to him, he was like, I get a rush from all the blood, you know. And he said, you know, the Native Americans, they used to believe, Indians used to believe, that if you would get rid of blood, you're getting rid of bad spirits. He said they were really very smart. And as he was saying it, they showed a shot to a scene of Violet cutting herself horizontally. And he told her, you know what, if you really want to kill yourself, you cut yourself vertically because they can't stitch that up. I was like, well, yeah, duh. Even I knew that, and I have no intention on ever killing myself. No intention. I'm gonna make that evidently clear in this case. Shit happens. But you never know, motherfucker. Keep living, keep on living, as Forrest Rock says. So she's like, "How the fuck did you get in my house?" And he was like, "Well, another thing, if you really want to kill yourself, you need to start locking your door." And he closes the door. So then it flashes to, goes to her first day of school. She's walking, she's smoking, she's minding her business. And then this girl is like, hey, we voted on student council that there be no smoking in public places. She said, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm new. I didn't know. She puts it out. She drops it on the ground and she, you know, just steps on it, just stepping out. She's like, what is wrong with you? Other people eat here and sit here. And she's like, why are you doing this? I'm new. And one of her friends, basically her flunky, her little minion, she was like, oh, well, basically because her grandmother died of lung cancer, so she takes this shit pretty seriously. I was like, what the fuck that got to do with me? Does nobody tell your raggedy ass grandmama to smoke? That ain't got shit to do with me. You're not about to bully me. The fuck? And so then, she was she Leah was the girl who was bullying Violet. Leah picks up the cigarette butt and says, "Eat it. I'm gonna make you eat this shit." She said, I'm not eating that. And then her black friend, who I can't remember her name, she's on everything. She's been playing like a 17-year-old for like 20 years. Hold on, I gotta. Well, I couldn't find out her name. But she's been in Say the Last Dance. She was in Bones. She was Bones' daughter. So I'll figure out her name. I'll put it in the description. They were like, Leah, stop. You're doing too much. Leah tried to, basically beat up Violet. And Violet basically spit in Leah's face and then shit. So, and so then the next day, she basically got beat up by Leah again. And she was like, I'm not afraid of you. Leah was like, you should be. And so she, had her on the ground. They were jumping Leah they were jumping Violet and everything. So Violet picked up the cigarette and burned Leah on her hand. And so, then she got away. She's like, oh my God, she burned me. Like, bitch, she should have burned you. You're jumping her. The fuck? Like, people confuse me with this jumping shit. Like, one, it shows you can't fight. And two, it's like, bitch, how you gonna get mad when they fight back? Nobody wants to sit up there and just get their ass beat. The fuck did you think this was? No, nobody gonna do that. Like, bitch, never. So, sorry, my Tinder was on. So, no, Kindle, not Tinder, sorry. um, so then she gets home and she's talking to Tate, and Tate was like, telling her, well, what are you going to do about it? She's like, I don't know. I hate that bitch. I want to fuck her up or kill her or some shit. He said, you don't have to. You just scare the shit out of her. She's like, how? She's like, well, easy. She's a cokehead. And she went up to her and said, listen, you're not going to harass me anymore. I know what you like. I have drugs. I'm the best dealer in town, and my shit is good as fuck. So come to my house if you want it and stop fucking harassing me. And she's like, okay, all right, cool. And so she's gonna coming over there um, later on in the show, and Violet was telling Tay, she's like, but she wants coke. She's a cokehead. I don't have any coke. He's like, you don't need coke. She's gonna scare the fuck out of her. And she's gonna leave you alone. So Leah comes over there, and she's like, where is it? She's like, Violet's like, it's in the basement. And she's like, you better not be fucking with me. She's like, shut the fuck up and just turn to the left or turn to the right or some shit. I was like, I like Violet. I do. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You want your coke. Oh, just beautiful. So, she goes in there. She turns the light on. Um, Tate is sitting in a chair. And so then she turns the lights off and they scare the fuck out of her. The creature, and he gets on top of her, scares her, drags her on the ground and shit. The creature that killed the twins, Troy and the other one, I don't know what that motherfucking name is, he's the other one. At the beginning of the episode, he brings that creature back and it scratches like 3 long, nasty lines in her face. And Violet was like, what the fuck is that? He was like, oh, nothing. She must have hit her head. She's like, no, 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 no. She didn't hit shit. I saw that shit too. It was not just her. I saw that too. And so, He was like, "You didn't see anything, Violet. We scared that bitch. We showed her." She's like, "No, no, no, get the fuck away from me. It's something wrong with you." He was like, "I thought you weren't afraid of anything and shit." I'm like, "Bitch, the fuck?" Uh-uh. So then the show goes on. Um, Ben gets out of the shower. He's looking for his razor blades. He can't find them. I think Violet used them to shape to slit her wrist, and she can't find them. And uh, he's walking into a room. A door opens up a little bit, and he sees Myra, the maid. She's playing with herself, and she's like coming and shit. And so he's like, "Oh God!" Like shit turns him on. He goes to another room. He comes and he plays with himself, and he comes. And then this man, who we find out later on, is Larry Harvey. He used to live in that house, and he is like, "Your family is in danger." Like, first of all, you looking at this nigga come or some shit? What the weird shit is that? But this is Ryan Murphy. It would be Ryan Murphy if it didn't have some weird shit in it. Um, so he's like, your family is in danger. He goes to the window and the guy's gone. And so then later on, Myra comes into his study and he's like, she's like, "I have to clean the study." He's like, "Just please go away." Because at that time, he's trying to report Tate because he feels that Tate is a danger to society. He don't know Tate is already dead because he was a danger to society. So he's trying to report Tate, and they keep giving him a runaround, which I don't know why the fuck he would give somebody a runaround for that for. Um, so he keeps trying to report them. He's like, "No, do not transfer me to another department." Then the line clicks out, and he's like, "Unfucking believable, unbelievable." And so then Myra comes in trying to clean his study. She's like, "I have to clean it." Titty halfway out, legs open, fishnet. She unbuttons this stocking from the rest of her underwear set. And he's like, "Listen, leave me the fuck alone. I don't need this right now. I can't deal with this." And so she's like, "I know you played with yourself when you left the room watching me play with myself. Do it again. Show me how hard you can get." And then, he's trying to get her off of him, but, she's having a struggle, but he's kind of not struggling because he wants it. Um, so then Violet comes in and she sees Myra on top of her dad. But she doesn't see Myra as the young sexy maid that she was before she died. She sees Myra as the old lady that she would be if she never died. So she's like, "What the fuck?" And she runs out. And so there's a scene where Tate is involved at first with Violet, and then Ben gets upset. He was like, "You're not supposed to be with my daughter. Get out my house. Do not have him around you." Because Tate is seriously fucked up. Seriously. And so she's like, "But it's not a big a deal." And then Tate was like, "What's that thing you said I'm afraid of? Rejection." And he walks out the house and he bangs on the thing like a little school shooter that he is and runs out the house. He bangs on the banister, not the thing. And so later on at the end of the show, uh, towards the end, Addie comes in the house another time. And Vivian is like fed up, like, stay the fuck out of my house. And she talks to Constance. She's like, "Listen, you're gonna keep her out of my house. I'm tired of this. Stay out." And Addie keeps saying, "Can I play with your dog?" She's not listening. She's like, "Bitch, I'm not staying at this house. The fuck?" Let me change the subject real quick because I ain't listening to the shit you was saying. I ain't hearing nothing you saying. And so then Vivian finally grabs Addie's face and says, "Listen, stay the fuck out of my house, okay?" She's like, "Okay, okay, got it." And so, Ben's like, "Hey, don't touch her." Like it's somebody else's kid, well, she's not really a kid, but mentally she kind of is. But, they about to leave, and Constance has Addie leave. And Constance tells Vivian, "If you touch my kid again, bitch, I'm going to break your fucking arm." And so then the next scene, we get into Ben is taking a run. As he's running, a car is following him. Then the car stops, and then a man's running after him. Then Ben runs around in a circle, and then the guy with the messed up face, Larry Harvey, who used to live in that house, he stops. He's trying to find him, and then Ben attacks him. He's like, "What the fuck do you want? Who are you?" And he tells him he used to live in the house. The house is possessed, is evil, And he said he lived there 6 months before the voices started in his head. And sorry, I thought I heard something. He lived there 6 months before the voices started in his head, and then they told him to, his daughter, his wife was tired, so she took a sleeping pill and she went to sleep. He said the voices in his head told him to kill everyone. So he had gasoline in this scene. He put it over his daughters, over his wife, and then he set everybody on fire. And he said he doesn't know how he put himself out. But he's told him to read his transcripts and that the house is evil. You have to get out of there. And then he's like, listen, I don't give a fuck. Even if this is a crime to peep into people's windows, even in LA. So you do it again, I will have you arrested. He said, they're not going to arrest me because I have inoperable brain tumors of cancer in my head. They can't work on it. They can't operate on it. I don't have that much longer to live. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, shit. He said, well, I am a psychiatrist. I can prescribe that you be put in a psychiatric ward for, I think, for the criminally insane or some shit. And he was like, that shit gonna make prison look like Club Med. And he was like, okay, well, just look at my transcript, just look it over. The place is evil, the place is evil. And then he runs away. He says, stay away from me and my family, all that melodramatic shit. And then the guy starts smiling because, he's fucking lying through his teeth. So there's a scene where, basically, Vivian is still working on the mural of the house. She's still getting all the paper off and all the rest of that stuff. She's like, I thought these guys were supposed to be stylish. And then Ben tries to help her. He's helping her, but then he eventually wants to have sex and everything. And she's like, he's like, well, how long are you going to keep punishing me? I'm like, for cheating on me? Like, it's not a punishment. I have to. She's like, it's just not, nobody's punishing you, you narcissistic asshole. This is not a punishment. I can't look at you. I can't forgive you for not only cheating on me, but having sex with one of your students in my bed. And he was like, I was hurting and I needed you and you weren't there for me and I was there for you. She's like, oh, my hero. And I'm like, and then she's like, you're hurting, so you buried your sorrow into some 21-year-old's pussy. And I'm like, if you hurting, why didn't you go to Vivian? She's like, I'm sorry, did you have a baby that died inside of you? Did you have to push out the dead life that was in you? Was it rotting inside of you? Was the blood coming from you? Like, I lost my baby too. He was like, well, I can show you a lot of statistics of how many men cheat after a miscarriage. A dead person was in me, and I had to push them out. I have been betrayed by Mother Nature. Why would you go and then betray me also? What part of that makes sense? You can't control your dick long enough for me to heal mentally, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, health-wise, vaginally? Really, nigga? Really? Like, god damn, you're so fucking men sometimes. Not all men. I love men. I love men. But sometimes you can be so fucking selfish. Somebody died in me, bitch. You can't wait that long to fuck. Jeez, I'm not in the, like somebody's body was eroding inside of me. I don't really want your dick there right now. Last time it was there, it created the baby that died. So right now, I'm not really in a fucking mood. Literally. Shit pissed me off. Talking about how many statistics the male cheat after miscarriage. My body has betrayed me. So you think it's a good logical fucking idea to betray me as well? Oh yes. This is why I married you as the great logical mastermind that you are. Fucking idiot. Shit pissed me off. And she was like, he's like, I don't even know how to say this without coming off as an asshole. She said, go ahead and say it. You doing all that crying and snotting and groaning and moaning and shit in the therapy room, it was all bullshit. So go ahead and tell me how you really feel. He's like, I needed you and you got a dog. Bitch. I know it wasn't funny, but it was funny. That shit was funny to me. I'm sorry. And it was a little bit funny. It wasn't funny. If you're in a situation like, that's not funny. But you needed me. I needed you, and you got a dog. She's like, was that what that was that cheating? Was it revenge because you needed me because I wasn't there in your time of need? Oh, now I get it. He's like, you should have been cuddling with me, not the dog. He's like, why don't you push the dog off the bed and say, hey, I need you. I'm hurting. You're hurting. Come to me. Force me over there. Feed me ice cream. Have me lick it off of you. Do something creative. Jesus Christ, aren't you a fucking psychiatrist? You don't know how to get inside of my mind? Just useless. All those book smarts. No common sense. Just gonna let your dick think for you? Well, I guess you know better than anybody else. Oh, the fuck well. But this shit pissed me off so bad, y'all. That shit pissed me off. Nigga, I hate you. God, my body has betrayed me. That don't mean you have to. Don't do that shit, nigga. What the fuck is wrong with you? So they keep arguing, and he was like, I love you, and you need to forgive me. And we had to work through this and all the rest of that there. She walks past him, and she starts beating the shit out of him. And I'm like, yeah, beat his ass. And they start making out and start fucking. I'm like, yeah, fuck him to sleep. Sometimes you just need to work it out. I don't trust you, but it's been a while. And, maybe we can take that step. I guess it ain't that bad. It's that bad, but we can work this out. So, so they fucked, and then it was like, oh, it was a good afternoon. And then the last scene, she comes back to the house, and he's like, what do you feel like eating today? And he was like, I don't know, I'm in the mood for Chinese or Mexican, something he said. And he asked her, well, what do you want to eat, baby? And she's like, I want Indian food. He's like, quit playing, girl. You want Indian food when you pregnant. She looked at him. He's like, oh my God, we're having a baby. And then that was the end of it. And it was very nice, but it was sad because I don't think you should have a baby or be pregnant in Murder House. If you see this season, you see how it ain't gonna work out. But all the fuck will. All the fuck will. So, yeah, that was the end of that. That really pissed me off. Like, you gonna cheat on me? That's like cheating on me after I have a miscarriage and wanting me to give you some type of sexual pleasure while I'm on my period. Like, I'm not in the mood right now. Could you be considerate to me? I'm sure if there was gallons of blood squeezing through you, you would be out. Men get the flu and they stop their whole week. Like, bitch, don't you want me to fucking swallow your nut and shit? Like, no. Damn. God damn it, I need a back rub. Maybe I want some sea salt caramel ice cream. You ever thought about that? Yeah, you give me some of that, I'll lick that off you. But yeah, that was the end of that show. But it really pissed me off. But it really was dealing with issues, and I think it's gonna be it's a wonderful season. And I think I'm going to review the rest of it. But the second video coming up more likely will be from first season of Black Mirror. So I will see you guys later, and I love you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So bye, you guys. Mwah.